Well, greetings, everyone. I'm so happy to see you. Welcome back to Step into the Miraculous with Joan of Angels. We are going to be talking about shamanism today. We're going to be doing a deep dive, learning how to heal your body of chronic health challenges, cut psychic cords, remove toxic energy, and clear ancestral patterns, traumas, and emotional wounds. And I'll be right back after this. Introduction, everyone. I'm just so excited, tripping over myself with excitement. So, guys, I am Joan of Angels. I help you remember who you are, why you're here, where you're going, and most of all, help you activate those energies. And today we're going to have a very exciting show for you. But first, if you are new to my channel, please like, subscribe, and share, because that's how we do it in this modern day world, so we can reach people around the world with these messages of how to really transform your energies. And I want to let you know about a few new things. I actually have a new website that just went up this morning. And if you go there to that website, you will actually see my brand new ebook. And you can sign up to get my new ebook that's called Unlock the Secrets to Awaken Your True Purpose in Life and finally do the work that you actually love. And I'm really excited to share that with you all. All right, so now we have an amazing speaker that's going to come on with us in a minute. I'm going to be very excited to introduce you to him. He is what we call a modern day shaman. He's an internationally renowned shamanic healer. He's had 44 years in martial arts, 35 years in the healing arts. And Bart Smyth holds titles of Master Practitioner, Instructor of the Yuen method, initiated into the medicine man work. He's Grand Master of Tai Chi Qigong and is certified in Thai Shiatsu, Hensa Shiatsu, massage Reiki, other massage techniques, and neuromuscular movement. So he combines all of these technologies to fulfill a wide range of client issues, and he has assisted over 40,000 people worldwide to clear chronic and debilitating conditions, as well as coaching. So he is here to join us today to share his wisdom. I want you all to really join us in stepping into the miraculous and the inspirational with my new friend, Bart Smyth. Hi, Bart.
Hey there.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
I'm really excited to have you. You have a lot of titles and a lot of training. And I'm just really curious, how did you evolve into this modern day shaman? What was the process for you?
Well, I lived a full out life. I mean, I was a skier, skater, musician, but I raced and I did other sports, but I pushed everything to the limits all the time as a young kid. And growing up in Los Angeles, it was a wild ride. So when I launched into my construction career in Santa Fe, New Mexico, after about 9 years of successful building there, I was in an accident where a guy crashed into me, and I was standing in my truck. He hit me, and that opened up a lot of injuries I'd had from skiing that I didn't know. And from there, I started dealing with the effects of Western medical medications on me for pain and other things. And I got off of those, and I've had a series of injuries after that each step of the way, instead of going outsourcing my healing that didn't work the first time, I got worse with all the medications. It got me out of pain, but then anyway, long story short, this was a quest to put Humpty Dumpty back together and clear the things that I had done on my road to getting where I was, in life, and wanted to have a better existence, freedom. Yeah. So
Interesting. It's like a trigger, or it's like you had a trigger point or an activation code set in your energy field that that at a certain time in your life this would happen, and that would cause you to step into a whole new path.
I was stubborn.
It didn't happen overnight.
No, I tell you, no, I've had, I did heal up using the martial arts finally, and karate. I trained with a guy that I knew, and I took my skills in construction to San Francisco. We had an architectural contracting firm there, and we were doing okay. We were building our company, and another contractor ran the red light down at 4th and Folsom, and total broadside on my truck. And like everything that was not put in place from the first and all my other injuries, skiing, opened up everything. But, I tell people this time, the first time I went to help, because after the first one, I was crawling out of bed, pulling myself up, going to work, coming home. And I used to drink. I'd shoot a beer and just go back to, go to sleep, wake up and do it again. And after 2 weeks, I had to go to the hospital. So this time I just, I called the insurance company. There was a policeman on the corner, saw the accident. Everybody goes, "That's $1 million accident." I said, "Yeah, but I'm not doing that route." I told him, I said, I want to choose my doctors. I want my company salary paid and all my medical, and I'm in charge of my healing. And I'll stop all at 1 year, because I'll be healed in a year. And it took me 15 months. And I had an old school chiropractor orthopedist in Noe Valley, San Francisco.
I might know them. Who was it? Wait.
Just like when I told you that, I'm trying to, his name will come to
me. Remember later. Okay, not important.
He's a wonderful gentleman. And he would massage my spine for 45 minutes, and then most things would happen. But I went from hard style and Aikido to Tai Chi and Qigong, to things that I could do. And my whole world went shh, and everything that worked, I decided to train in, because I wanted to know more about my body. And then I wound up having a gift. And I always had a touch, the ability to touch. And I developed that with my Aikido master and a dear friend that had MS. So I would stop by, and I would just use intuition with her to help her breathe and things like that. And my fingers seemed to know where to go. You probably know that when you're working.
I do.
Oh, yeah. So
everyone, I was like the yellow pages with my fingers doing the washing.
Exactly. Yeah. How did you find that one? Yeah. So anyway, but my carpenters in San Francisco, they'd come in, they maybe drank too much. They were musicians also. And hey, Bart, can you do that thing with your hand? So I find a point on their hand. I didn't know reflexology, but I find it, hold it for 5 minutes, and okay, back to work. So I had this. My mother was a physical therapist that worked at the Mayo Clinic. Yeah. And anyway, so she put a lot of loving touch into us as kids. So, it developed there, I would say. And then with martial arts, you face a lot of things, and you move through the different levels of your getting to know yourself and the challenges that you faced. Why I joined the martial arts, I did it to save myself. So and so that whole evolutionary process and trajectory, when I had those accidents and took the medications and came off the medications, there was a void. And I knew there was a void, and I just wasn't happy anymore. Nothing worked. I had 3 babies and a lot of bills, and I could do everything, but there was something different. So I went into psychotherapy that worked with the teacher plants. And
Mm-hmm.
I built a house for a doctor south of San Francisco that was into that. So I wound up being his client and evolved from there into the ayahuasca. And back in the early 90s, went to South America.
Wow. So this is way back when, but about 30 years ago.
I started in 87 with,
It's putting me in a timeline because I had a practice in Berkeley at that time. So you were just leaving and going down to South America and practicing with ayahuasca then. So how was your experience then? Tell us a little bit about your experiences there and then how that led to what you're doing now. So I take it you were a really good healer. Amazing gifts.
Yeah, I like to clarify. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've been gifted with the ability to listen and follow. I think that also comes from Tai Chi and Aikido, more sensitivity and harmonizing with energies instead of resisting or whatever. But yeah, I consider myself a technician actually because what I do is very technical, and I think maybe I'm sure because of your success as a chiropractor, what I see is my gift is getting out of the way so people can heal themselves. And I'm sensitive and I can feel, and like I can feel right into somebody's brain where there's a block. And so that, I don't know if that's a gift or it's something I had from so many brain traumas and healing. It's like one of my teachers said, you don't have to have any more head injuries to be good at your craft, Bart. I said, good, because I'm tired of them.
That's pretty interesting way to put it. Your head injuries did probably shift some of those pathways, and probably, I'm going to say it again, was important in your development and in your timeline. It was like, oh yeah, Bart's going to have a few head injuries, and wow, when that happens, he's really going to open up his consciousness.
Yeah, well, I had my first really major one when I was 3. I fell asleep while my dad was building our beach house in Michigan, and I fell asleep and fell about 7 feet onto concrete. So, but I've had 5 other knockout blows from behind, and I played football, karate, boxing. I mean, a few knockouts, fighting, and things like that. But I also skied extremely fast and took jumps. So I had my share. I know 9 traumatic brain injuries and spinal injuries, but then I had countless others that come along with that type of lifestyle. You just don't register them. So yeah, I did, and so yeah, but I'm doing great now, and I've had with that the ability to assist other people. Yeah, so
I love that. Okay, I know. I just love that. So we left you down in South America in the shamanic circles with the medicine teachers and Peru. Yeah. So how did that impact you? Can you share a little bit about that?
Well, I walked away from the medicine work. I felt I was healed. I wasn't really interested in being a therapist. My goal was to be a successful contractor, and that's really what I want. I wanted to build solar housing developments and things like that, which I did. I was in on the first one in Santa Fe, but I graduated into this, and then I found my system wanting more, and I'd run into this guy. He came in to see the work my teachers were doing, and when he walked in the room that night, I pulled my blindfold up. I felt his energy. I go, this guy's dangerous. That's really what registered. And what
dangerous because you were stuck in something.
Well, because I knew that he would be the one that could hold my feet to the fire long enough to be honest with myself.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh. Which was, coming from my background, you build systems and strategies. I'm not the only one, but systems or strategies of success and survival that, I kind of had my heels dug in. And so, yeah, he was the kind, powerful, gentle man with similar story as mine. So I was like looking at myself and he had a lot of fun with me.
So he became one of your teachers, or you did a lot of medicine with him?
I would say he's my maestro. I mean, I got initiated. So what happened was I decided to go back to work. My psyche was calling for more. So I contacted him and asked if I could work with him.
Got it.
And he welcomed me. He had met me once, that night. He watched me process the next day and all that stuff. So, and so anyway, I started training with him. And then one day he just asked me if I wanted to go to Peru. I go, yeah. So I forget where. I think I was living in Sweden at the time, and I flew to Florida and then to Peru, and it was just the perfect thing for me because I'm an adventurer anyway, and I've done a lot of camping and climbing and things, but this was something that was very powerful and new and innocent, and wild, and everything was there that was so overpowering and so humbling and beautiful, and also like it was like I'm in the right place here. And so I didn't go down to be a shaman either. In fact, I didn't even know they initiated me. Don Benjamin, through an interpreter, said, the interpreter said, you want the higher levels of the ayahuasca training? And I said, well, sure, that's what we're all here for, right? Halfway through the night, he spit in his hand and he shook my hand and goes, there's no going back after tonight. And I looked at, it's like in the movies, I look at him and go, okay. And, halfway through the night, I was what I'd signed up for. And then, after that, then it was just something that it's inexplicable. It's not something you can tell anybody about. You can't train it. You can't read about it. It's something the teacher gives you over many, many, many nights and trainings, and then of course life and all comes together. And so in time, and I knew the last night, and I knew it was happening, and and he told me, this is it. And that was the final thing he gave me. That was from my teacher in San Francisco. And then from that day on, I didn't really advertise, but people would ask me. I mean, I said I trained with shamanic work, but I didn't say, I had a promoter say, well, you're my modern day shaman, Bart, because I work on her family and her horses and all that all the time. So that's how I got the name.
You got the title, a modern day shaman.
Exactly. So it's been one of these things. It's like I didn't look to be a Tai Chi teacher. I just trained, and I didn't look to be a shaman. I had to untwist a lot of things that I'd done, and so that's how it was like. And I mean, we were with monkeys and in the jungle and the caimans, and I found myself out tracking by myself in the jungle one day because I used to track and hunt when I was younger.
Oh my God.
Then I realized I was tracking a caiman. I thought, I don't know, do they have an ant? I was looking at the tail through the sand and the feet prints, and like, oh yeah. Turn around and go the other way.
Wait, what is a caiman?
Well, it's like an alligator.
Oh, okay. So you're not supposed to
they can get like 9 feet or something down there where we were.
So you were tracking, you were on medicine, or you had just gotten into this natural.
It was just one of my days off. I ventured into the jungle thinking because of my skills in North America, maybe I could just go spend some time in the jungle by myself. And then I when I woke up to what I was doing, I go, oh, caiman, I better go back to camp.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. But you know what I've been thinking since we started talking was, so you were really ingrained in the Western mind when you started, and in an amazing career with the Western mind and technologies and such. And then this all happened and shifted you tremendously. And so to the Western person who's listening to this, how do you explain that in a way they understand? Like, does that make sense as a question?
Well, I could say what Don Benjamin told me when I was in the jungle.
Okay.
Through he'd work with us and through an interpreter, and he just said, Bart, the jungle is screaming at you, and you're just not listening. And I thought, oh, so I didn't have an expectation, but as you said, I had that training of many years of, you know, technical work, mechanics, working, martial arts. I music. You know, it's all part of the whole mix that the jungle is a symphony of too. But
Yes.
I guess I could just say that it's a natural process. The medicine work and what it was. I mean, it's not something that should be taken lightly. I mean, it's very popularized today, and so when we did it, most everybody was afraid to do it. All my friends that did the other work, I'm not going over there. And so, of course, then I had to go because that's who I was. If I was told not to do it, that's where I go. So,
God, I'm kind of like that too. But yes, I get it.
Yeah. So I just like to tell people, in like what your advertisement was, and that's what I focus on too, is what are you here for? What's going to bring your senses alive? And in doing that, it doesn't have to be done with ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is a great teacher. Right. It's a great tool. It's not necessary. I think really risking to become who we are, and what that means for me is to actually feel and learn how to feel. And that's, I'd say, what the process for me was, learning how to feel, because I learned how not to feel
right
in school first, being embarrassed or whatever, and then fighting. You don't want to feel when you're fighting, and you don't.
You don't want to.
You feel the next day maybe, but and then I went into Tai Chi, where we had to melt away to the core and then come back, where you feel everything. And then once those senses are available, and they're available without all the training too. I don't want to sound like you have to do 20, 30 years of something. We all have that ability. It's just like Don Benjamin was saying to me, I'm not listening. With all my training, I still wasn't listening. And the listening is listening within to how we feel, right? Mm-hmm. And so then we can become the masters of our ship, right?
So how do you define a shaman? Exactly.
I can only speak for myself and what I've been exposed to. Everybody's got their own story coming into it, but for me, it was, it's like I said before, I am part of a concert. The jungle's with me. It never leaves. The plants and the animals that came from my teachers to me. Mm-hmm. So in time, there's this great trust and honoring of the true lineages that are out there of family and tribe that go through me when I do the work. So, I mean, I do my part, but also there's no way I could ever consciously predict or move properly if I had an idea of what I was doing. But then you actually know everything on one level, that but on another level, you know that you're a tool. So that's what I say. A shaman is just a tool, and you use me. And the thing that takes time to become, I believe, I'm always developing. I mean, I do the work every once in a while now. It's not something I do in Europe, but although they do it all over the place now. So I've been a little careful. I grew up in the 60s and 70s, right? It's like, you're super careful, but not everybody's doing it. But I haven't ventured. I have children over here, and I have. But I would say is that it's the essence of life that we all have within us, and the plants help to get there. And it's not the only way, but it's a good way with the proper guidance.
I love the way you're explaining it, because I'll tell you what's happening while you're talking to me. I'm actually feeling more of an acute awareness of my own senses. And as we're speaking, I'm remembering a journey that I had. It was an ayahuasca journey, and they were playing jungle music, and I was a jaguar running through the forest. And I was so attuned, smell, eyes, senses. And somehow I feel like you've been totally trained for that. Like like all this work you've done has been a precursor to this sharpness that you have now. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know how I would describe it, but kind of very aware.
It's, I had a wild life in LA. I really did. And I used to judge parts of it, but then I realized everything that I experienced, everything I had to do to survive, everything that happened that I learned from.
Yeah.
Well, in those moments where that information is needed, I know that. So it's not something that's going to surprise or shock me. I'm there. So I'm present. And so, yeah, my whole life did that for me. But I also, go ahead.
I could feel it. I could just.
No, I can feel the energy too. So.
Oh my God.
Well, no, I feel the energy with your. So yeah, it's fine. So yeah, I just, the one thing I like to be certain of, that anybody listening to this, is that I get amazed and so connected with people who are just being themselves and having fun. Maybe watching the sunset. This is really taking the time to be in nature or something like that. It's more important, and you get the connections that are so vital to our system that way. It's not just my way or what's happened my way. Every experience we've all had lends itself to be that which gives us more availability to see who we are and who we aren't. Yeah. I hope that came across well.
It came across wonderfully.
Okay.
I'm so intrigued here. So tell me then how you help people now. Yeah, especially with, everything that's gone on. Your travel has been on and off this last year and a half. How do you help people now? What do you offer for people?
Well, actually, my life didn't change a whole lot, except I traveled a lot. But I have been working at distance for 25 years doing quantum healing. And I actually can do it all can take place. And I've created courses and to actually eliminate the need for, or to clear anything, lay a good platform of freedom to move and grow on. So I have courses for that I do online. And, I work coaching people in business and relationships. And also I have a stem cell technology that I work and share with people now that has helped Humpty Dumpty clear those brain traumas amazingly now. So I share that with people too. Anything that works, I bring to the table.
You bring to the table. I know you have a class about eliminating financial worries, right? Breaking through your glass ceiling, an abundance class.
I wouldn't say that it eliminates it. What it is I'll just describe it like this. Is like one of my friends was talking about this circle of influence that we have. And as we're growing, we might start here in our we hit new territory, and we can have that same sense of fear or worry that we had when we're down here. And you get here and you touch that. And when you touch it, you go poop back to the familiar, like, right. But that familiar before used to be here. So this glass ceiling keeps expanding. You don't see it, but you'll touch it. So it's like in my own path, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, but every time I wanted to get rid of a fear, it's like that fear stayed with me. In fact, I had a fear my whole life that finally cleared. That it would come at a certain time and place, and I had investigated it a million different ways, and dove into it 100 times in ceremonies, and always come out the other side going, well, there's nothing there. But it's still touching something. So instead of trying to eliminate that, I just noticed it. And in noticing it, I noticed my own reaction in my system. And so this class is about, we want to know those reactions, but those reactions don't have to take place every time we come to that glass ceiling, right? Where, oh no, I'm here again, right? Instead of, I know this one. and I can sense it. And with that sensing, it's like the famous saying, what we resist persists, right? So I don't resist fear and I don't resist limitation. I investigate it. And in that investigation, have tools to clear that which is really not serving me. But it could have the idea that it serves me, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so we have different parts of us, and those different parts of us that think that you get up here too far. Well, there could be different aspects that I don't want to eliminate because there could be new territory, new information, and it's my intelligence that's working with me. But I don't have to react. I don't have to hit that. And sometimes I still go up there and I bounce and I go, oh, okay. Right? It's not something that's crippling anymore. It's something of an investigation is what I'd like to say.
I understand. I totally understand about the glass ceiling. And I understand that sometimes that glass ceiling with wear and tear could be like a metal, steel, concrete ceiling. And so all sorts of tools to break through that is what you're offering.
Yeah, yes. I don't want it to sound like we break through it. What I would like to say is that it expands, and as it expands, the density also doesn't increase. That expands into less dense territory. So it's easier to get a better view through that.
Got it. You can expand into it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love this. I definitely.
And with that ability that we give you in this course, I mean, so it's foundational, but it's also advanced for me, because we give you a tool to go with to measure your availability to that next level, right?
Yes.
And there's always another level, right? It's like,
Yes, there's always another level. It's really interesting. I know when I do work with people and I look to see where their energy is about using their intuition or connecting, there's always somehow this ceiling of what's possible until people understand that they can expand it above that. So I think that's great. So that's one way they can work with you. And then do you do appointments, private sessions?
I do group healings. I do private sessions, one-on-ones, and on Zoom, WhatsApp, Telegram, all over the place. And yeah.
So you do group healings?
I do group healings, and every once in a while we'll throw a freebie in there to serve a group. Yeah. And so, but on my website, and as you're upgrading your website, we're upgrading mine too, to be able to do more of this online. And but if you go to my website, thank you for the banner down there, moderndayshaman.net, there's a pop down, and you can go there and put your email in, and we'll be sending you information if you want. If not, we won't. But yeah. If you want more information, we'll alert you to when we're doing these online programs. Yeah, like the course that you. Yeah. So.
And then from there, from those beautiful hills of Sedona in your background. Okay, before I let you go, Bart, I have one question. Is that a UFO? Do you think above you over there? You see in the picture a cloud or a UFO?
Over here.
Yeah.
Or this one here.
Yeah, it looks like it could either be a ship.
It looks like a UFO. This is Monument Valley, actually, towards the border of Utah. But I've been in Sedona, and there is a lot of activity there. I didn't notice that. It's so funny. This is one of my favorite views. And yeah.
Well, I'm in the pyramids just because I wanted to really have that energy when I connect with the modern day shaman. So guys, I want you all to find Bart. He is amazing. His healing work is extraordinary. And I'm going to have him on again to tell you about some of his other special programs that he's teaching me all about in the next few weeks too. But Bart, you've been it's just been fun to connect with you because you've brought to me some of these vibrations of the shaman himself. So I'm going to put you out in the back room for a minute. We could talk later, but I'm so glad you came and you were with us today. Thank you. All right. Oh my God, that was so fascinating, guys. I don't know about you, but as Bart was talking, I could feel tingling in my own energy field, and I could literally feel that increased awareness, a sensory increased awareness. Very, very fascinating. All right, guys. So, please help us out. Please like, subscribe, and share our YouTube channels, our Facebook, all of our shows, so people have more of an understanding of different ways that they can step into the miraculous. So help us out and do that. And make sure that you check out my new website at joanofangels.com. And I have a brand new book that I'm offering, a new ebook on how to find your calling and monetize your life, which would be actually wonderful for many of you, I know. And meanwhile, I want you all to check out Bart Smyth, and make sure that you check out his work, because we'll be hearing more from him soon. He's an amazing being, as you all are. So thanks for being part of our show tonight, and I'm so happy to see you. And we will see you all next time when we get to the miraculous. Bye for now.